right, welcome back to Two Shots In Podcast. I'm Devin Burgess.
Frank King.
Ginger Janae.
And we got In the Box.
In this box.
Away from all human touch and mankind. Paul. All right, so as you may or may not know, and we're not going to talk about this for very long, there was an incident at Jefferson Gun Outlet in Jefferson Indoor Range on the 20th, Saturday. The 20th of February. Mm-hmm. Yep, that I'm sure you have seen or read about in the paper, seen on the news. It was a terrible tragedy, but fortunately we have well-trained staff that risked their lives. One of them gave his life to protect his fellow... See, I'm a fucking cry. That's why I don't want to talk about this. Their fellow employees as well as customers. So this podcast is dedicated to Mr. Noah Fischbach. Love you, brother. All right. That's all I'm going to say about that. We can go into more detail when...
Well, by all means, let's mix some alcohol in with the emotions.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't need a drink.
By the end of the day.
Shot.
The police are doing a good job. They still have not closed the case, so out of respect for the families involved, as well as the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, we're not going to further discuss that, but we probably will in the future. All right, but Noah would not want us to throw in the towel. He would want us to continue drinking with him in our memory. So, that weekend...
We did get a podcast in with him before.
Yeah, we did. So please, everybody, go check out... it's one of the... I mean, there's only like a dozen up there, but it's Noah Fischbach with me and Frank. There's 2 parts, which is even better. Go check those out. He was a great dude, man. He will definitely be missed. All right, so what we were going to talk about that weekend, we had went to Tennessee and got some moonshine. Supposedly it's real moonshine. It does not look real, though. It looks like Walmart moonshine, but we're going to try it. And this is my wife's sister's favorite 3 that I bought, and we're going to review them. And hopefully at least one of them's good because I plan to drink some of it.
They wish you spent the whole weekend.
Oh yeah, she
like
went
that
there. She went there for her. She went there for her honeymoon. Oh, and that's all she talked about, man. While we were up there, you know, we got fucking frozen in and had to rent a car to come down here. Did I tell you that?
Drive for like 18 hours. Or something?
Man, this is a shit. This state is so weird. So we drove like 16 hours to get home. But you're on a mountain in Tennessee.
I know.
So when it freezes, I mean, you're on like a 60-degree
drive on a mountain.
So I mean, you can feel the car
swerving,
and the turns are not. It's not a straightaway. Every 60 feet, it bends and turns and winds back up. And U-turns back around.
They have a lot of those ramps for the trucks too. When they get out of control, they run up in those sand ramps.
And so we went there because a few of Chelsea's younger family members had never seen snow, and wouldn't you know it, it snows in Metairie.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly.
Not up there.
And
there
we
was
didn't
flurries.
get
I didn't see flurries even in Belchase.
We were so fucking pissed. And then we had the baby, so the baby had to... we were going to fly back with the baby. It's only like a 2-hour ride to the airport, and then you fly home for an hour and a half or something. So, no, we had to rent a car. Everybody thought we were going to be dead because the ice, the roads were all iced up, black ice.
Drifting the whole
and
way.
I swear to God, man, you could feel, like at 10 miles an hour, you can feel the back
you're afraid
end
to hit the brakes,
of the car.
You're afraid to
and then they get on the news and they tell you, which doesn't make any fucking sense, that if you start to go out of control, don't hit the brakes.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck am I supposed to hit? There's only the brakes and the gas.
You just let off.
Off of the gas?
Yeah.
Yeah, but how does that fix the predicament that I'm now in? Tumbling down a mountain at 40 miles an hour.
You're supposed to slow, till the wheels grab, is what you're supposed to do.
Holy shit.
Well, anyway,
we didn't...
Exact science.
We didn't go down the mountain, but it was not good. Especially with a baby driving home.
Crap out of me.
Yeah, once we got past the mountains and everything, we were cool. But, man, heading down that mountain, especially when there's black ice on the road. Yep. What's the difference between black ice and ice?
can't see black
Yeah, I don't
ice.
think you can see it.
Well, I don't think I can see regular ice either, pavement. Huh? Isn't it clear?
Well, yeah, but it's like, but I think it's like not. I think it's like not glossy. You know, it looks like concrete.
Oh.
It looks like pavement. That's why it's so horrible.
Look at him. He's visualizing it. Look at him.
Yeah, I visualized myself tumbling down that goddamn mountain, cursing my in-laws from dragging me up there.
Sons of bitches! As your
All right, the first one, Old Smoky. I don't know if they're good or not. They didn't give us to them, so I don't give a shit if they're good or not. Apple pie. So we're gonna taste this one first. I think this was Chelsea's sister's favorite. It's either this one or this one that was her favorite.
It smells kind of like
apple pie
I think I've
moonshine.
had this one.
What is it? Apple juice. It smells like.
All right, to Noah.
Oh, tastes like apple pie. I'll be a son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's all right. Not bad. All right, this is the one that I wanted to taste because I would think that this would be my.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. No good. Kind of good.
I thought the apple pie.
No, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was all right. All right, blackberry. This is the one that I would think would be my favorite. But I don't know.
Blackberry. So we're 3 shots in then this podcast.
Yeah. Well, wait. Give it 30 minutes.
I was gonna say, wait.
Oh,
That's really good. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's
that one I
really
like.
good.
Yeah, it's gonna get really
What the
dangerous.
fuck is this, cotton candy?
This
Hey,
is-
I don't know.
White chocolate something.
What is it?
White chocolate
Strawberry?
cream.
This is
Oh, I'm gonna like this one.
This is white chocolate, strawberry cream,
This is the one that's
moonshine.
gonna sneak up on you.
You can make me throw up all
This is
over.
where you
throw up.
wrap your car around a pole at 90 miles an hour.
Going down a hill in
Look,
Tennessee.
I've only got no shit.
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
I think that's the best one.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty good.
that one is good. Paul, which one?
Which one you like the best, Paul?
I like the that one, the one we just had.
Hell yeah.
That one was
Might
really
as well
good.
get me another
Now,
one
if
too.
that was ice cold, it'd be even better.
All right, so what have we? I've learned something very important in the last 2 weeks.
Your ABCs.
I've been knowing my ABCs for months. You idiot.
He doesn't know those.
I've been taking Saturday classes, and I know my ABCs now. I still have to sing it to a rhythm, but give me
You gotta sing a song.
me another
right?
year or two.
However,
I still do that from Schoolhouse Rock.
I have learned that people that have not been in contact with a assailant with a firearm have a unrealistic view. This fucking phone of how
what it takes to
turn
bring
this
somebody
guy
down.
What it takes to bring somebody down.
Yep, I ran
Absolutely.
into the same exact thing.
absolutely.
I have been wrong before, and I've been wrong in my representation of what I think would take to discourage somebody from continuing to fight, and then bringing that person, taking them down, taking them out.
Right. Somebody will engage.
And I've always had in the back of my mind the notion that a handgun is only good to fight your way to something bigger. Now, I can only think about that you need a large caliber or rifle caliber to defend yourself against one or multiple assailants, especially if they are on something or
I mean, just hyped up on adrenaline. You know,
I
that's
could not
amazing by
believe, after the dust settled, how many rounds were shot, how many rounds were taken, and how many rounds it took to end the situation. What do you think about that? I mean, a lot of ammunition,
itself. I know.
well placed to
Very well
stop a
placed.
threat.
It was a shock.
You were in the military. Was that something? Well, y'all carried rifles though, so you don't get the same. You don't get the same end result with a long gun.
I mean, a lot of stuff I did was on board ship, so it was mostly engaging with large.
But I mean, the
caliber.
majority of the military is large caliber, or at least small
Well, small
caliber,
arms is
right?
considered
5.56,
5.56, yeah.
right?
So
But that's still a much more devastating round than a 380 or a
It
9
is.
millimeter. I could not believe how resilient the human body is and how much punishment it can take from a pistol caliber, even in large doses.
yeah, that's one of the big problems with, like I said, because that's what I was confronted with the same exact thing was, don't you think that was a little excessive? And I was like, at the time, I had no idea how many rounds were used at that time. So we kind of did what we had to stop the threat.
It was incredibly excessive for the end result, the way it went down.
Well, considering even after the fact, you were still like, is this going to end?
Right.
Because it wasn't instantaneous.
No, it did not end. It went on for days.
It was crazy.
But pistol caliber rounds, especially on a larger gentleman, man, I've been thinking about that a lot. I've been rethinking my whole game plan and arsenal.
I know. Because, I focused mostly on 9 millimeter.
Me too.
For everything, even my carbines and things like that.
And I was very satisfied in my beliefs that a 9 millimeter with the appropriate round would do the job.
As was I. And now...
And I do not think that way anymore.
My thought process of, let me carry my GSX or, my 9 millimeter, my AR9, or something like that. I'm carrying a 5.56.
I will always carry a rifle caliber from now on.
Well, I carry my Maxim in my car with me all the time. I always have.
Well,
Plus my side piece.
And even
Fortunate.
Even switched to 357 Magnum.
That is pretty good. You want some more? Come get some more.
I even switched to 357 Magnum, but then after the incident, I started thinking to myself,
one of the gentlemen had a 357
I'd have been stuck
Magnum
with 5 rounds
on our.
and that's it.
See, I don't know about 5.7 anymore. I don't know anything anymore.
See, to me, 5.7.
My whole world.
5.7 would have passed.
Use your shoulder, pussy.
Just pay.
He was kidding. He was kidding.
He's all drunk now.
I was kidding.
Ripped the goddamn frame off the door.
That's Paul, everybody. Hopefully you can see him somewhere. But man, I am. Poke your head on there. Let him take a gander.
Filling it up, boy. He filled it to the top.
Let him take a gander at my producer there. Good looking cat. Man, I'm rethinking everything. I'm serious. Everything. I do not understand.
Well, and I think even people, like, you see all these guys on
so
YouTube
full of shit.
doing these reviews and like saying, oh, well, if you did this and you did that. It made me realize how many people
don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
They don't know what the fuck.
And look, I'll admit
Absolutely.
that I was not as informed as I would have liked to be with pistol caliber ammunition either.
No,
I mean,
and
I
you
was
don't want to be that informed, to be honest with you.
I was
You
pretty
don't wanna be.
confident that if you hit a grown adult with 3 or 4 rounds of a 940, 45, that would be enough in the vitals.
Well,
when you learn that it's not enough,
even the employee that was hit, okay, that was a
for those that don't know, we had 3 employees. Well, we had 7 employees involved, all of which are fucking heroes. And just thinking about that, I'm big pussy today. I'm gonna cry probably all of this whole podcast. But everybody here, man, is bonded in a way that is odd but awesome, and they all, man, everybody here, everybody here stepped up, and
you can't explain it.
I'm so proud of everybody. That anyway, so
even,
what the hell are we talking about?
Even the employee that was hit in the leg, watching him take that round and then still run down the alleyway.
Gave him a tourniquet, tied that shit off, and fucking got back in it.
That kind of stuff like you would think from a 45 caliber hitting you in the leg, it would not be that, like it would do more.
Right.
But he was able to handle it well.
That adrenaline's a hell of a thing, man.
It sure is.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
But it was like, me and Frank talked, even for us personally, time slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
It gave us time to think about what we had to do.
Well, that's because y'all train.
Well, and I tell you too, dude, that
if you didn't, it would have gone the opposite
I'm sorry,
way.
Did I interrupt you again?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. I love you. Anyway.
Even the time, the way that it slowed down, it was amazing.
It was.
How much you can process in that short period
Yeah.
of time. It's amazing what you think of, how you process it, and your result. Your response to it. In that short, because you're talking seconds. And the amount of data that you process, I think, is better than any damn.
That's why, guys, y'all gotta train. Even
you.
if it's basic drawing.
And I heard nothing
even if
other
you're dry
than my
firing,
thoughts to myself.
Yeah.
I heard nothing else.
Even if you're dry firing at home, if you are just practicing taking it out of the holster.
Well, that's my next question. What do you do differently now in training that you might not have done in the past?
Not so much in training because I train a lot. I have.
Well, most
laser
of the
dry
people
fire
here
systems.
handle guns 10 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week.
Well, being a computer guy too, I'm always trying new stuff. I'm always like I'll go review every dry fire system that comes out, and I have dry fire playing cards that you literally can do drills with.
What is that?
It's just playing cards that have different dry fire drills on them.
You nursing that drink over there or what?
I know, right? Little bitch.
Anyway, so
Want some more of this?
Yeah.
dry fire drills that
I'm gonna have to Uber home.
they're on a card, 52 cards, playing cards, and you just pretty much shuffle them and you pick one, and that's the drill you practice with.
Oh, okay.
So there's,
This is pretty good.
Paul.
it made me look at what like I would rather have a dry fire system that had moving targets, because it did make me realize it is completely different
than shooting at paper.
To shoot at paper that is stationary and doesn't.
And
it just sits there and lets you say, "Hey, go ahead and shoot me."
Right. People have called and asked if we have that here.
Than it is for actually engaging someone.
You wouldn't believe the amount of calls that we get, the people that want to take classes now.
Oh, I know,
with
right?
Everybody
Even
involved.
more. It's crazy.
But everybody was impressed, man.
Well, in some of the stuff that we train on, too, like this last class we had was it a lot. Everything. I tell people this, like my sisters and all that I talk to. I've told them every single thing that we cover in our concealed carry permit class came into play that day. Every single thing.
That's true. And I'll tell you what, the students were great too. I want to give them props because they listened to everything I told them.
Yeah, they did not.
They listened. They felt. They knew, because she was like, "You're not leaving me, huh?" And I was like, "No, I got you."
As soon as we
and
said everybody
they
get in the corner.
looked like they believed in us. They did, and they let us do what we had to do. They didn't interfere. They stayed. They did exactly what we told them, and everything.
That's good. And they all lived.
Yeah.
They trusted us to handle the situation.
Fuck.
And we tell them, we're not cops. We're not, trying to do that. We're not trying to, the goal is to not use your firearm.
Right.
Absolutely.
And Jen, she even said she heard us, screaming at the guy.
I did her. I could hear
Stop,
Dave
and drop the
distinctively.
gun.
I could hear Frank distinctively. Telling him, drop it. Drop the gun. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. They over and over and over and over.
And they just kept on advancing.
With a lot of rounds going at him and hitting him too.
It's crazy.
That's the main thing that I took away from it, was the original report, which I'm not going to go too much into out of respect for the families and employees in Jefferson Parish. They haven't finalized anything yet, but the original report that I got of how many times he was hit is, you would not believe it if I told you.
Well, I was even asked by one of our employees that had to be taken in the ambulance. He texted me. He said, "Go see if he has a vest on."
Mm-hmm.
That is the number one question.
I said, "I'm looking at him right now. He does not have a vest on."
Did he have a vest?
Yeah.
So many people ask that question.
Yeah.
There's no other way to think of another logical explanation.
No. Because, well, I mean, a lot of people look at it like movies.
Yeah,
you
fucking
shoot somebody
movies.
once and they fall.
No, it's not like that, y'all.
That is not like that at all.
We're talking dozens of times.
And I mean, I thought of that. You know, I mean, I thought of, anything ever happens, like before all this stuff, you get kind of complacent. You start
Absolutely.
thinking, I got my 5 rounds of 357, I'll just blah, blah, blah.
Never
I'll
again.
just fix
Not
the
like
problem.
that, boo.
And
think if there was 2 or 3.
well, I know. Well, that's
that
the
was the thing
problem
with us.
with us, yeah, because we were in that classroom.
We didn't know how
We had
many.
no idea
I'm
how
assuming
many
there's a
people it
dozen.
was. Yeah, we thought it could have been a group that stormed the building.
That's why
and
I
was robbing
stood
the
at the
place.
top of those stairs the way I did, drawn, because I thought somebody's coming up the stairs next.
But I'm
We're gonna have to edit the shit out of this.
no,
Get ready, Paul.
It's
Your
all right.
job is.
No, we're being good. We're being good. It's all public
Well, but there's some
knowledge.
things,
Well, I'm saying what personally happened to us. We're not saying what we think or
Right, right, right.
speculating.
Right.
We're saying exactly what happened just with us, and that's all we're saying.
Yeah, we're good. We I'm just amazed at all of the employees. Nobody wants to. We sell guns for a living and help people learn how to use them. Nobody. Honestly, if somebody said, "Look, tomorrow this is going to happen. What do you think is going to be the end result?" It would not have been as. What's the right word to use?
like those of you who watch our podcast would have thought maybe our last guest might have cued us in
Yeah.
that something was going
We
to
had
happen.
a psychic on here the week before.
Told y'all not to mess with them. Con.
Definitely don't go to
Told
a
y'all
psychic.
that.
We had a psychic on like 6 days before that, and that bitch didn't give us a hint.
Bitch.
Oh. But no, man, I'm really proud of everybody. I mean, it's a terrible situation. Even the assailant, I don't have anything negative other than, in my heart, I hate him because he took a friend of mine, but it's just hard to understand, and
we didn't know that at the time, and it like
it's
I
hard to
said,
understand the mental, if there was mental issues, and again, I don't want to speculate on anything. It's just a terrible situation that everybody handled incredibly well. I mean, so much better than I would, even if I had to, if I could dictate how it would happen, there would be a few things I would change. But I couldn't have asked for everyone to perform in a more professional, courteous, and defensive way for everybody around them without any thought of repercussions to themselves. It's incredible, man. It's incredible.
Once we were outside, it became the dynamic changed because then we found out there were 3 students outside.
Yeah. At the
So,
time.
yeah. So there was a huge. it was constantly changing. Like a lot of military people will tell you that every battle plan is successful until the first round is fired or until the first
Chaos.
Right. It immediately
Chaos.
goes to shit.
But yeah, everybody did so goddamn.
But it was natural, though.
It was.
And
that was the
crazy
thing I was going to add before I got interrupted again earlier about how time slowed. I love you, Frank. I'm sorry. But the way time slowed down, and it really let us have a chance to think the way we needed to think to execute every step that we took that day. And it just, even the way we worked it, we looked at each other. We can look at each other. We know what we're thinking. We know what we're fixing to do. We know what
Which
we're going
is
to
so
say.
rare, too.
And it's just, man, when you got a great team, man, it's awesome.
We did it at the party, or we did it at the event that happened after that. It was like I'm standing at the door, and she looks at me, and I open the door. And it was because the guy was coming with trash behind me, and she didn't have to say a word. I knew exactly what she wanted.
Yeah, when you got a team like that, man, it's awesome. It's just. We don't train for that. Which just, you got bonds here that, man, you can't replace. Can't teach that. You can't train that shit. I appreciate it. And I love it.
We train. We preach muscle memory and we preach training and consistency.
But even if you conquer that, the ability for everybody to run towards
the way they did,
yeah.
Well, yeah, because imagine if we had stayed in the classroom.
Right.
How the dynamic would have changed.
Oh, wow.
But everybody flocked towards.
Well, because you're looking. Like I brought.
But
before,
it's easy, man, to say fuck this job. I'm running away.
And it's not just in the military too. It's you're looking out for the person next to you. You're
Right.
looking out for your.
But I mean, in a retail job, that's not normal.
Well, no, but you don't normally have the bond that you like when I work
Right.
here.
That's my
okay?
point.
Yeah.
When my idea of working here, or what runs through my head most of the time, is yes, we carry firearms, but in the back of your head, you know there is a possibility you may have to use it. You
Yeah, there's a reason
you
we
don't
do
want
it.
there to be,
Absolutely.
but you know if something happens, you have that possibility. It's not a a percentage that you can mark.
Right.
But the fact that when it came down to it, and everyone, like our main goal is we protect our students. We wanted to
Yes.
protect our fellow coworkers. You know, our brothers downstairs, brothers and sisters downstairs, and that was, seeing the other employee get hit was a, as soon as he got hit and came down the alleyway, the clock started ticking in my head without me even really registering it.
Before,
Was
Right.
how long he
has so many minutes
Right.
before he bleeds out, if that's an arterial bleed.
Right.
Exactly.
And it was in the right spot for it to be an arterial
Right.
bleed. He got hit in
It
the
was.
So
mid
it's-
to upper thigh.
As soon as the threat was eliminated, I'm banging on the door to get back in.
But what did you do though before that?
Before
You threw him a tourniquet. Oh yeah.
Well, right.
He
I,
was-
to get in the
I
he
door.
was
had
coming
to
to
run
get it.
inside to get the tourniquet from inside my bag. And
Which brings
dropped
me
it
to my
down
next
him.
point. I would never go anywhere without a goddamn tourniquet. I made fun of Aiden
Yeah,
so
no, you
much.
made fun of me too.
I made fun of everybody.
Everybody
for
made
those
fun of me wearing my
goddamn
vest.
tourniquets.
Not now.
Well, I used to wear a vest every now and then.
See,
Around
that
would
was
kick
a
off
thing
at the other
too.
store.
I was looking at her when the shots were going off, and she's strapping her vest on.
Oh, I'm
like,
ready.
God damn it! I wish
I'm
I'd have
rolling,
brought my
boy.
vest.
Go everywhere with a tourniquet
There you go.
Yep,
and
that Israeli bandage.
Yep, Israeli bandage
Yep.
and a tourniquet.
Well, it's a clotting bandage,
Mm-hmm.
so that'll.
Yeah, the quick clot is kind of going out the window, I think now,
Now,
because
yeah.
it does more damage than good.
Well, yeah,
I
digging
think.
it out.
But
They gotta clean
a wrap that is infused with a
Yeah.
bleed
Quick clot actually
stoppage.
makes that also. They make the clotting
Yeah.
tourniquet. I mean the clotting bandages.
Yep. So a trauma dressing that has some kind of something to help stop bleeding, and a tourniquet, man. Won't go anywhere without it now. I didn't used to. I used to tell people not to, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I
so
have always
crazy.
carried the quick clot trauma pack, and then several quick clot bandages, as well as multiple tourniquets. That's why I knew I had one on me that day. Is I always carry those cat tourniquets with me. Now, the employee that got hit, he was carrying one of those Israeli tourniquets, which was the rubber band,
Right.
the big thick rubber band. And he was like, "I'll never carry one of those
Right.
again. They suck."
Yeah.
You know?
The cloth ones that
Yeah.
can tie off much better.
And the cat tourniquets are the best out of all of them, because then you have the actual tensioner that
Yeah.
you wrap around and lock in. But another thing good to carry with you with that, just to let you know, is also a Sharpie, because
The time.
you write the time.
Yeah.
on the
What's the
tourniquet,
time?
right?
That 20 minutes?
And then you release it.
Right.
Yep, and then you put it back on.
Yeah,
You'll
tourniquet
reapply
can
it,
do a lot of damage
Yeah.
if you don't know how to use it
'cause
right.
you can damage nerves and everything
Right.
else.
Mm.
So
Man, I do not know what to. I don't know what to carry now. I don't know what to use for home. Everything that I thought I knew is
went
in
out the window.
question.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, even things about where I put stuff in my house. You know, like
Everything.
if somebody comes in, what the hell am I going to do if this happens, this
Mhm.
happens, this happens? So it definitely makes you think. It actually made me think about changing the ammo that's in my shotgun.
It made me think about everything.
Yeah.
I've got double lock back in mine.
And I mean, I have tourniquets in my house now. I have.
But I
in
mean,
my
even
car.
shotguns I'm thinking of, which would be when we did our 3-gun thing,
Mhm.
that was at the top of my list. But I don't know if a pump action shotgun would have been ideal now or not.
Well, that's why.
'Cause
when
you got a lot of
Remington
rounds
came out
coming
with
at
those,
you, man.
well, that's true. But you mean if you're spraying 7 pellets with
At
every
one
shot,
time, yeah.
that's a lot too.
It is a lot.
And you don't have to be accurate.
Mm-mm.
You don't have to be as accurate, right?
But now the distance that like certain engagements take place in, like we teach a normal concealed carry engagement takes place within like 5 to 7 yards, or maybe out to 13 yards.
yeah, this was very unusual.
we're talking, engaging at
About 25 to
yards.
30 yards at the longest.
And inside the store, that's what 7-8 yards that they were shooting, and heaven forbid, nobody hit them, like they initially thought. Because when he
listen, when somebody has the drop on you, I don't think that there's any. I don't think there's any way to win.
No, if
somebody has the drop
out and grabs their gun and points it at you,
there's nothing you can do.
I don't care how fast of a draw you are. Your brain is going to take a minute to say, "Wait a minute, what am I looking at here?" And by then, it's too late.
Yeah, once somebody knows that they're going to do something that you don't know, there's nothing you can do.
Well, and even now, I have always trained myself to look at people's hands. So when people walk in the front door, I'm looking at their hands. Just like when I go places, when I go to Jazz Fest, when I go to, wherever, every person that walks by me, I'm looking at their hands. But I can't watch the people behind me. I can't watch people in different areas that I can't see. And that's why I get anxiety even, from that kind of stuff. And like I said, that the anxiety even here of not knowing what was around the corner didn't stop me from charging around the corner. So it definitely makes you rethink how. It definitely makes you come to the reality of if somebody wants to do something, they're going to do it.
Right.
There is no combat for it. There's no way.
And if they know that they're going to do it ahead of time and you don't,
you're not going to karate chop the gun out of the guy's hand.
You're going to get shot.
Yeah.
And hopefully there's somebody else there that can help you. Oh yeah, I heard y'all had somebody that was teaching people how to karate chop or something in a class. Holy shit, man. People are so crazy.
Oh my god, I wasn't gonna bring it up.
People are so crazy, huh? Especially online. I cannot get over how many people. And I guess I somewhat bought into the. No, I didn't.
But they go by what the news says. Like, there's a guy who reviewed the incident, to all his viewers because they asked him to, and he went by strictly what the news said. And he's like, "Why was the guy reaching for a gun? Wouldn't he have had a gun on him already? What kind of stupid policy is that?"
Right.
Well, I wanted to message
and there was
that guy
another
so
one
bad.
on Instagram that actually tagged us in his review of what happened, and I started watching it, and he's like, "Well, obviously no one there was trained on how to shoot," and I was like,
Yeah.
So what I did is I sent it to myself. By the time I went to my own profile to look at it, it was gone. So somebody must have reported it. But I was like, these people have no fucking clue
and of course,
about anything that happened.
Well, of course, you have people on there that are trolling, just trying to get reactions out of people, just trying to piss people off.
Just watch any video of that's out there of somebody that goes into a bank or there's a bunch of videos of people that go in a store and rob it or shoot the place up, and it's nobody knows what. Nobody that I've ever seen on one of those videos acts in a
calm, collected,
in a collected, strategic manner when rounds start coming at them that they weren't expecting.
Which was crazy.
That's not a reasonable thing to. Well, that's my next point. The level of composure that everybody had to get engaged and to fight back was it's so crazy.
Tactical thinking that took place.
It was because certain let's say there was a lot of calmness. Let's say that I was so calm. Like he said later on when I thought about it, it scared the shit out of me of how calm I was. Just being a mom, two, going into that protective mode, and I was actually impressed about how we reacted.
Well, I think there was enough people that were on our side to give to bring a little reassurance, because we had 7 or 8 people there.
It made me think of like when I first saw the movie Black Hawk Down. Okay, Mike Durant, the pilot that was shot down, was one of the pilots that was shot down, the guy that was actually captured. I've watched documentaries about him, and he's even said, like, I don't know why I did it, but I took my watch off, put it on the ground, took a picture of my wife and kid, set it next to it. You know, he did all this stuff that he didn't even think about. He was just doing it, you know, and he was calm about it and everything. And like he had faced this reality that, well, I guess this is it, you know. And I don't know if we were at that point. I don't know if we were thinking, well, if it happens, it happens. But for me, it was, I can't let this guy, or I can't let somebody or multiple people kill my friends or hurt my friends.
Fuck,
You know,
man,
that
that's
was
a
the
rough
biggest part of it.
situation to come across, though.
And
Well,
like you
because-
said, we didn't know how many there were.
Because
We had
I've
no
worked
clue.
in several jobs, you know. 13,
Yeah, the ones in the
13
classrooms that were not traversing the building or trying to get some other taxi. I mean, y'all were really in the dark.
Right. Like I said, I've worked for other jobs 13, 14, 15 years and never had a bond like I have with the people here. And I mean, I've been,
Bunch of freaks, huh?
it's crazy.
We are. We're weird. Not everybody can bond with
Bunch of
us. Not
fucking
everybody
weirdos.
can really get us. So it takes a special. I always would tell Devin, I can't just hire anybody.
Yeah.
And this
oh,
proves
no,
it.
me neither.
Well, and
And
it's
he's
extended.
like, I understand. But
It's extended
it's true.
beyond that. Like,
It's true.
Like, even before, like Matt, when Matt was here. you
Yeah.
know, Matt and I had a great bond.
Yeah, Matt and Kevin were here last
Yeah,
week, man.
I
They
was here
were.
when they came in. But I've even when James was here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, everybody had kind of a very specific bond, and it was.
Well, it's always in the back of your mind that if you don't and something happens, you know, you're not doing yourself a service if everybody's not on the same page.
Oh, we got to be
Well,
on
yeah.
the same page. That's one thing. If I don't feel 100%, I can trust you with my life. You can't be here.
Well,
I mean,
and
that's
that's
just how I feel.
that is unfortunately a side effect of what happened too.
Yeah.
Is you do learn who
Yeah.
has
Truly
that,
has it and who
has
doesn't.
that ability and who doesn't.
That's right. It's true.
Because had we all panicked, had we all, you know, seized up, anything could have happened.
Oh, yeah. It would have been a lot worse.
Like I said, well, all we had, if we would have stayed and just barricaded the door and just stayed in the classroom, the whole
Everything
time.
would
No,
have been
we
so
definitely
much
had each
different.
other in our minds and the students in our minds. So, like, that's where we went. We all went in protection mode for each other and everyone else, and it worked out good.
And it was crazy that there was no second guessing it. There was no like,
hesitation.
oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, there
Do
was
we
no-
really want to go and put ourselves in danger? You know, there was no
just did
there
it.
was no second guessing at all. It was just like, okay,
We all
let's
went
go.
into action, and it just got done. It was great.
What rifle you carrying now?
I have a Frankenstein build that I made 5.56, little 8.5-inch barrel with my suppressor and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know what...
Maybe the muzzle blast alone will cause damage.
Those 300 blackouts are no joke.
You know what? That's another crazy thing I wanted to bring up. Is
Like those honey badgers.
I know.
well-
I was looking at that little baby earlier.
during the event, you know how I have those Howard Light headphones that
Mhm.
filter out the gunfire? That's what it was like. But I didn't have my headphones on. It was like my brain filtered out the gunfire. It was crazy.
That is crazy.
Like I didn't hurt. It didn't say, "Man, my ears hurt," or "Man, I got a ringing in my ear." Nothing like that.
I talked to a guy that he's talked about it on other podcasts too. I met him a year or two ago. He was with a bunch of guys and they were hunting grizzly bear.
Mm.
No. They were on Fognac Island and they were hunting like moose or something. I don't know what the fuck lives on Fognac Island. They were hunting something, and
Bigfoot.
they were on Fognac Island and they were camping for the evening, and they must have been camping near where a bear and their cubs were, and the bear ended up
shit.
attacking them, and and it was funny because it's the same thing that we're talking about. They said, before this,
Den.
all of their buddies were like, I got a 44 and I got 5 reasons why that fucking bear doesn't want to attack. And he said my buddy
5
took off
reasons.
his gun and put it on his rucksack,
Oh,
and we were eating, and he says, and if you do research, you can find out. No, you can find out.
Hair comes ripping through.
You can find out who it is because he says something really funny. He's a funny dude too. He's been on a bunch of podcasts. He says he has a small TV show or something for like the Nature Channel or something. And Gunny really likes him. I don't mention his names because he's not here to talk. But he said, I was just in the middle of saying, we handed out everybody sandwiches, and my sandwich, the people who did the little show he does made my sandwich, and it was a nicer sandwich than like everybody else's. And one of the guys said, man, why did my sandwich look like your fucking sandwich? And he was right in the middle of saying, if you want a sandwich that looks this good, get your own fucking show. But he only made it to, if you want a sandwich that looks this good, and then a bear charged in where they were, and then everybody, he said it went right by his head, like 6 inches from his head, because he had his back turned, and everybody scattered. Nobody grabbed the gun. They had 3 guys with guns. One of them hit him with a boat paddle.
Oh my God! Everybody shit their pants.
And he actually ended up hitting somebody, and he ended up on the bear's back. But he said after it, he says, I didn't really remember much, and it was like I wasn't even there to begin with.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
He said I went into this weird, everybody talks
In a
about.
zone.
Right.
I got this 44. Right. I see that bear. I got 5.
I wish a bear would come in.
Right. And then when it happened, you snap into that mode where
it's totally different.
it's
self-preservation.
you to that lizard brain.
Right.
Well,
that's what it is. Self-preservation. You're
right.
like, holy shit, and you forget everything.
Right. He said I was
Thank God
barely
we didn't
there,
do
and
that.
I didn't even remember. I was barely there at all.
Well, some people are like, man, it was like I was watching it happen. Like I was
Right.
out of
Like
body.
out of body. No, we were in control. That was what was great.
But that's very unusual, is my
Right,
point.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, even people that do similar things for a living like that play a similar scene over and over in their head and have a gun next to him. You got grabbed like a trekking pole and stuck him with it or something.
See, that was what was good on Black Hawk Down too, is when the colonel, he's standing there and like bullets are just and the guy's like, Colonel, they're shooting at us, and he turns around and he goes, well, shoot back. And it's like it's not phasing him at all that these bullets are zipping by.
Right.
And he's getting his job done. And that's kind of like what it was like. It was like, we weren't even thinking about that.
And moving too is such a big thing, man. You gotta move.
Yeah.
If everybody sat in the corner,
well, and for us it was clearing the hallway, clearing the stairwell.
you got to keep moving.
Pie in the stairs and everything. It's just stuff that you have in the back of your head that your brain says we're gonna have to use this, and this. Let's see it happen.
Execute it.
It's crazy.
Did we get? I'm surprised about how many people haven't come into the store just to bend our ear about all that crap. Have you, on the class that y'all did last weekend, did anybody say anything?
We had a couple people ask.
Yeah, they asked, and we just kind of told them that we couldn't.
Right. I don't
wasn't
think I've
time.
had more than. I mean, people come in and say, "Look, I'm sorry that happened," but I don't think anybody has asked me anything.
But we were vague about a lot of stuff.
We
did bring up in certain instances, like, look, this can happen, it will happen, and this whole, I can do it with 2 rounds kind of thing, just like we talked about.
Bullshit, man.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not
I
enough.
cannot believe how much bullshit that
It's
was.
not
though.
enough.
I mean, I would have never thought.
Well, and even in the training that I've taken with like St. Charles Parish Police Department, the firing, from just a not even aiming position,
Right.
just firing from the hip, up close.
Right, well, that's
Training
more to
and
get
stuff
somebody
like
off
that.
of you.
Well, right. But then you start thinking about things like, I forget the YouTube guy that Gunny showed us, where he's like, you press that gun against somebody's chest and you have a semi-auto, it's going to take it out of battery.
Yeah, it's going to disengage
Yeah.
it. Mm-hmm.
So that's another reason why I have my 357. He said you press that right up against somebody and it'll do some damage. But even that close, some of the stuff I've seen, like some of these videos of people getting robbed.
The really
and stuff
strange
like
part
that.
about that is, right before this happened, there was 2 or 3 videos that even Noah had showed me, like that popped up about people getting. There was some guy that had like a stick or something,
hitting the cop,
and the cop shoots him 8 or 10
Yes.
times.
Yeah.
It was a lot. He
That's
shot
crazy.
him a lot.
And there was another one with the woman cop, where the guy's coming at her and with a knife, and she's popping.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she
right,
reloads,
right.
Pop, 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 pop,
Yeah.
and still hits him, and he still gets to her with the knife.
Man, I don't know what to think on what to carry and what to.
That was one of the things that we came up in one of the classes that if
we did. We played it that day.
If somebody ran at you,
the guy with the cop.
Yeah.
We played that day.
if somebody ran at you with a knife, you could literally pop him 10 times unless you hit his spinal cord and sever his spinal cord. He's going to get to you. He's going to stab you. And that's a reality after what happened Saturday.
Yeah.
That could definitely happen.
Oh yeah.
So, like I said, because some of the stuff, like I've seen, like the where they're robbing a store and stuff like that, and then one of the assailants gets shot to the point where it hits his spinal cord and he's paralyzed from the waist down instantaneously and he drops.
Mm-hmm.
But people say don't shoot for the head because it's a smaller target. Your spinal cord's only this thick.
Right.
You know? That's an insane place to aim for. You know what I mean?
I remember when I was much younger. I'm trying to remember. I remember the important part of the story that I want to talk about. But something happened in the neighborhood where one of our buddies from baseball or something, one of his family members had shot somebody that had broken into his house or was in his house or something that was. That had a firearm or a knife or something. He ended up shooting him. But the guy had made it out of the house and had ran down the street and made it like a quarter mile before he collapsed. But a few other people that were in our sports, the playground that we all played at, said, well, the guy actually came into our ER or our hospital, and if he had gotten shot where he was on our operating table, there's nothing we could do. But just from, he had adrenaline, and where he got hit, it took 2 or 3 minutes for him to die. But if he got hit on the operating table,
he would have been done.
It was still nothing we could do. He would have died.
Well, there's a story of a person that I bring up.
But that 2 or 3 minutes, man, they can do a lot of damage with 2 minutes.
Well, the story that I bring up sometimes in the concealed carry class is I think it was from the training with St. Charles Parish, is they had told us about a guy who had taken a shotgun blast to the chest and decimated his heart, like destroyed it. And the guy still ran for like 10 to 15 steps before he collapsed. Mm-hmm. Not because his heart stopped working, but because his brain finally starved of oxygen because his heart stopped working. Mm-hmm. So even a friggin' point blank shotgun blast to the chest, and the guy still ran for 10 or 15 steps. That's a distance, that could get to you, even if you shot him with a shotgun. So, unless you hit very specific parts, they're not stopping. They're not going down. So this whole, 10 rounds is going to be fun. Why do you need 15? Why do you need 20?
We got to bite my tongue all day long with that.
I know.
If I need more than 5, I'm not doing it right.
Well, and my daughter, she was talking to her grandmother, and she defended me with that because her grandmother was like, don't you think that was a little excessive? And my daughter was like, no! It's not like...
He was still going.
Right. It's not like he came slithering around the corner. It's crazy.
Man. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I'm glad that we did get back in and started a little bit of normalcy.
I needed to be acclimated for a while. Mm-hmm. I needed that. That's why I was like, Devin, give me something to do. I can't sit at home. Give me something to do.
Yeah, right. My mind's been busy. I've been here since
I needed the rest, but I was going crazy at home too.
Right. Yeah, I didn't want too many people. I don't know. I have no idea. But I think everybody's all right. Doing better.
I took a couple of days off.
Nobody's all right, but I think everybody's,
I think it definitely is everybody says it's an eye-opener. It's definitely an eye-opener.
Shit, yeah, man.
It definitely
and it changed
keeps
us.
people
We're changed.
on their toes.
Yeah, we're changed. Don't get me wrong. It's not just, we're just fine. We're all right. We are changed, I think, from the incident, but we are good.
But I think
good.
that you definitely get complacent. You definitely take things for granted.
Oh yeah.
And not saying it happened 100% that day, but because it does seem like even when you get complacent, that shit will come back to you like and fast forward. You know what I mean? So it was an experience.
You wouldn't believe the amount of people that want to take classes from y'all and from us now.
That's awesome.
Well, even the different meetings that we've had, they want to. I mean, they were like, you guys should go on a tour and start talking to people about it.
Yeah, and when I was rescheduling, for the rest of the class for that day, because we got to complete it, everybody was like, I'm so glad y'all don't keep going. Please tell me y'all don't. I'm like, we don't have enough time to do what we need to do now. We don't have enough classes open for everybody who wants to come now. So it's really good, the feedback from everyone, wanting us to keep going and being glad to reschedule, and they can't wait to come Saturday. So.
Yeah, and like I said, I make sure we stress that everything that we teach came into play. So,
it did.
Which I want to talk to you about after, by the way. About just something else that I called about today about dry fire stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that we got back in here because I enjoyed doing this. And I didn't want to do it last week, obviously. I didn't really think we'd be able to do it this week either. Just everything's such a mess. But
I think forcing yourself to get in here and do it is a good thing.
Oh yeah, we
it
definitely
definitely
need
helps you.
Yeah, you need to get back to some kind of normalcy for me, him. We need that.
Yeah, I'm glad y'all were here, man. I wish Noah was not. But
I wish there was some more normalcy that day, because then what happened may not have happened.
Right.
Yeah, there was little bitty things that we normally do that certain ones of us didn't do that day, and we're still like, why would you bring that day to work? That you never bring that.
Yeah.
That's not your side piece.
Right.
It's like, what in the world? So there's little things like that really have thrown me off. That's the one thing.
Yeah,
y'all know what I'm talking about, right?
Once you start evaluating
that one
everything.
thing with that person has really messed. That's the only thing that messes with my head.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that are that were really strange that day.
Like you would never.
Maybe we should become mediums.
We do better than that lady last week.
She's not a medium. She's a fucking witch trying to steal y'all's money. Get a medium.
Well, we've been
There's
trying.
a difference. I'm trying.
Well, now if we get a medium, they're gonna say, "I see guns
no, it's
fighting."
not like that.
Yeah,
That's
they're
not
gonna bring
how she
up.
acts.
They're gonna bring up what happened.
That's not how she acts. That's not.
Well, you got to get a hold of her.
Yeah, bring them in. What? Book them.
I got an open seat right here with nothing but my tourniquet sitting.
Tourniquet.
Well, hello, Mr. Tourniquet. How are you?
Some moonshine.
So for anyway, the people that the few people that watch, the people that come into the store, we appreciate it. There's been an overwhelming support from the community and for Noah's family, for everybody. It's been oddly insurmountable, the amount of people that have come forward and said nice things and have supported us and have kept in touch.
One more thing I'd like to bring up is
Go ahead.
One of the things that really got to me, one of the things that really, the only time I really struggled with anything about the entire event was the lady who got killed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The only reason I didn't bring that up, she's not a part of the store, and I didn't want to intrude on. I'm tiptoeing the line right now, so I don't know what to say, what not. There was
the fact that it was a customer.
Right.
That's the only
right.
thing.
There was a young lady, a customer, who was actually the first person that was engaged by the suspect, and for no reason. She didn't do anything wrong, and it was, it's terrible. I don't know what else to say. Fuck.
I know. like I said, that's the only thing I've really had to sit down and think about, and was like, that's, I mean, because like I said, we, to a certain extent, we carry our
Right, we have to accept it a little
accept
bit.
the fact that something could
But I
happen.
mean,
but a regular customer just in the
She
store,
should have never
you know,
had to deal with anything like
no,
that.
had nothing to do with it.
And the family, you know, fuck, man.
But anyway, it was an incident. I hope we never have to deal with it again. I'm glad we dealt with it, you know, like we did. I'm glad everybody meshed well. I'm glad we all.
It's such
worked well together.
a terrible clash of emotions, you
Yeah.
know, because
It was-
it's so
Yeah.
terrible and sad and indescribable, and then at the same time there's a weird bonding, and it's very strange, man.
Well, it's crazy that you know, like Ginger said, that the amount of trust you can have for somebody immediately
Mm-hmm.
when they are willing to put themselves on the line for you. And that is, like I said, it's immediate. It's not, you mean, you might talk to people, you might hang out with people, you might say, you know, joke around and different things like that. But in an incident like that, you know who is there for you when you need them.
Yeah. You know who's the strong ones and who the weak ones are. I mean,
Right.
I don't know how else to say it, but
Because even aftermath, you know, even dealing with things aftermath,
Yeah.
you know, you can tell there's certain people who were still just as calm as could be, even after the fact. There's some people that it got to them immediately. Some people didn't get to them until days after. Or you know what I'm saying? Like it's.
and I get that people deal with this kind of stuff differently, but in our line of work, once again, you know, you need those strong people next to you. Sorry. You just do.
Yeah, I was amazed at the amount of people that are ready to get down, man.
With what they had.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother
Yeah.
Right, that's a whole nother conversation. Is just you know, like taking a friggin' pop gun to a friggin' cannon fight.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy,
You still did it.
right?
without missing a beat.
Well, anyway, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Yeah, I get it. Me either.
I'm sad.
Me either. We live it all day and night already still, so.
But anyway, Two Shots In podcast brought to you by Jefferson Gun Outlet, Jefferson Indoor, the Shooters Club, friends, family, the community, our employees. We thank everybody that showed their support, and after everything's closed, we'll talk about it a little more, but we wanted to get something out there. And oh, by the way, if you can, please, we're still doing a fundraiser for Noah. It's on our Facebook page. GoFundMe can be found on our Facebook page. And if you have any questions, comments, please send us an email at 2shotsinpodcast@gmail.com. And till next time, keep those mags loaded
Yeah.
with high caliber ammunition.
High caliber on you, not
You
on
never
your
know
dress.
what's going to happen, man. You
High
never know what's
caliber,
gonna
Old
happen.
Smoky moonshine.
That's right. And drink Old Smoky moonshine.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.
To Noah.
To Noah.
Oh, fuck, that was fucking rough.